and welcome to Experimental Lab, the daily show with JK. I'm JK, your host, and I'm joined by Amar. Welcome, Amar.
Yeah, hi JK. Good morning.
Yeah,
How are
right.
you feeling today?
Uh, I'm still recovering, not better, but I think we are going to have some calls. Let's start with
Yes,
the
yes, for
calls.
next. Yeah, sure. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I am speaking with Mr. Nate Mills.
Yes, who is?
Hi, Nate. So this is like from Quantum World Technologies. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Nate, actually, I called you regarding a role of Scrum Master, which is like hybrid role in Maryland. So are you available for this role?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I must believe you are a US citizen.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, and this is for the federal client, so they are looking for some experienced guy like 10 plus years of experience, and candidate must be able to clearable like active secret clearance is preferred. So you are comfortable with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And may I know what is the rate you are looking for on W2?
W2 70?
Uh-oh. See, mate, like we have the rate of in between 50 to 55. That is the max rate we have.
Mm-hmm.
May I know what is the best you can do?
Yeah, no, then 55 is okay.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. I'm asking about your best rate so that I can submit you.
Yeah, 55 is okay, I think. Is that okay for you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And may I know how much experience you got for as a Scrum Master utilizing safe methodologies?
Yeah, I'm good in
How much years?
7.
7. Okay. And do you have any certification?
Yeah, I have PMP and CSM, both certificate I have.
Okay. And the SAFE certificate you have?
Sorry.
SAFE certificate?
No, I don't have this.
Okay. Okay. I'm just sharing your rate
So
confirmation mail.
who's the
Kindly
client you
confirm the rate.
told?
I told you for federal client.
Federal client. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The location is Fort Maryland.
Mm-hmm. All right here. So
Yeah.
may I know where you are
Yeah.
from?
And
You are calling from?
sorry. Yeah, my name is Sailesh. I'm calling from Quantum World Technologies. I'm just gonna share you a rate confirmation mail
No,
you
I
with
am
the
just
client
asking
details.
you your current location. Are you from
Yeah.
USA
Client
or
location
outside?
is okay. The client location is Fort Maryland.
Yeah, it's okay. I am asking your location, your current location.
Okay. My.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's it. You can send the RTR,
Okay.
then I will call you.
Yeah. Come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. So they are not interested to share their personal details, like where they are calling from. Always they try to hide it.
Yeah, Walter as well joined. Again, I thought of asking you both to talk today because I am still recovering and I couldn't talk much.
Sure.
Walter, are you able to join or you're still connected?
Hi, Walter. Good morning.
Yeah, I am here. How is everyone? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Oh, disconnected.
Okay, he got disconnected.
Right.
Okay. No worries. Let him join back, and we will try to work through it again, right? So you have to be very clear on what you are asking. So they are not able to understand. So that's where like they are able to not answer your question.
No, most of the time, they are not interested to share their personal details that they are calling from or their current location. Like that, in this question, they are always afraid, For more experiment, we all know that, right?
Yeah, that is there. Always that is going to be there.
Right, right. Hmm. Walter?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yep, I am here. India, what did you, so you had a call early this morning, I saw?
I'm not sure. Like I can hear him clearly. Maybe I am having trouble with my audio. Did you hear him, Amar? I can't.
Yeah, I can hear Walter. Walter, are you able to come on video?
I don't have that set up where I'm at, but yeah, I can try a different USB port, but everything's coming through on my end for
Mhm.
audio and video.
Okay.
Let me try that really quick.
Okay. So, are you getting a good response from the recruiter? I mean, you're getting emails, calls.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just responding to emails currently.
Mhm.
Nothing. Again, it's the same old process, pretty much.
Okay. I am getting few numbers of email, last 2, 3 is coming, and I already have replied some. And I'm going to confirm the RTR. Someone called me regarding the position of Scrum Master.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
sounds good. Yeah, it's yeah, it feels like for the next day or so we're going to be back, and then there's going to be the end of year break again. I guess that is that coming over the weekend. What day is that? Yeah, that's coming over the weekend. So yeah, it'll be gone anyway. Um, and then maybe they'll be back on Monday, maybe not.
Yeah. So yes, so that is there. Like I wanted like to give some update on even the projects that our team is handling. Sometimes like we have to be careful on how we are interacting with managers and also with different accesses that is being given by different vendors. It looks like on the city side, like they have blocked access. So we tried to reset the password, but then it went through uh, a process where it has to be approved by the managers. So then only we will be able to access. So that's one thing. Like our team has to be very careful on how we handle these projects. If we are not careful, then it will really mess up things, and people can really lose their job for simple things. That is something like I wanted to bring it up.
What happened?
Um, the access to city network, we are using VDI, right, virtual machine. And while doing that, like it asks to reset the password. So resetting the password has to be followed through a stipulated procedure, like in a particular URL. But our teammate tried to change it, like right on the VDI network itself, and that triggered like us to lose the connection to uh, mobile token and other authentication. Only through that we'll be able to reset the password. But that triggered us to lose the connection to city network. So
I mean, they'll
losing
just
that. Go ahead.
they'll just reset it, right?
Yes. So we try to request a reset, and the problem is like he was working on the project for almost 3 months, right? So he didn't notice that this will occur, and also didn't took a backup of emails and contact numbers of the managers. So now we are left with reaching out to the colleagues and asking them like to um, ask the manager like to uh, raise a request to reset the password, because that is how like they have set it up. And the problem is the managers are on PTOs, right? So most of them, they are taking vacation during this time. So we are stuck like losing a couple of days, maybe this week till this weekend.
It's not fun.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the surprise part.
I mean, a lot of companies have a really bad way of handling that kind of stuff. I've had to deal with that before, and it's can take days to do something, to send something really simple, and they act like it's a monumental task to do it. And it's just like you're pushing a button to resetting some stuff for me. Yeah, but yeah, it's how companies do some things, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a crucial thing, right? So they just put various levels of security measure, but as part of our experiment, we are trying to prove that like none of that matters, because it is always in one internal resource who is kind of pissed off and who can provide access to their network without their knowledge. That can be
Right.
done. So no matter what kind of security you put in, if you don't trust the people, then this is what is going to happen.
I mean, yeah, that can happen. I mean, companies that size have to have some sort of security measure because hacking does happen at gigantic corporations. It seems to be prevalent. I'm surprised they're not using something like I can't remember exactly what they're called off the top of my head, but some of these virtual systems that are actually not that great, where they have the virtual desktops, um, remote desktop. There we go. Those systems are more annoying than they are helpful. But yeah, I mean, I've had to use those before and different ones, and a lot of them just don't seem to be really that helpful, because if someone wants to get into them, they're going to get into them. But they make the work for the you know the working staff a lot more difficult and obnoxious. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a perfect process there.
Yeah, certainly. Again, they invest in these security measures in large scale, right? Particularly with the banks and with regulation compliance in the financial sector. They try to implement so much, but still they are vulnerable. And that's what like I'm trying to expose here. So it's like one person who becomes a victim and who has no interest to work for them, they can become a source of it's not just disgruntled employee, but it's like you screw me, I can screw you back the way I am able to, right? So that is something even white hat hackers and ethical hacking are there. Like they do this penetration testing and see their networks are safe. All those measures are being taken care of. And just to avoid legal complications, that's where like they enter into these sub vendor contracts, which is kind of a managed service, and large number of employees are deployed by them both on site and offshore, like Cognizant, TCS, LTI, all these companies. So they just cannot compete with how do I say that? In the market, like just to compete, like they just go with random hiring process. So that leads to not verifying whether the person is uh, authorized to work or qualified. None of that matters. So just for the number game, they just hire people and then they end up having this kind of trouble.
I mean, I think they probably would have issues like this regardless, because that seems to just to be a setup issue where if you don't exactly try to request a password the right way, it triggers everything and it just gets annoying. I mean, I don't think it's putting the project at risk. It's just a security measure they put in that's just a bit too far. If it's going to take days to get that fixed instead of like a couple of minutes, because that's really all it should take. But yeah, I mean, I've seen that before. It's just one of those non-efficient things that just isn't great. I mean, if it wasn't at a time where it's probably going to be slower anyway, they would be the ones hurting the most for it, because I'm guessing still going to get paid for the time, because not exactly the worker's fault that they can't request a password reset without the whole thing kicking them out. Yeah, I'm sure that's not the first time it's happened to someone.
Yeah, certainly, right. Again, they all know this, but this something like which no one would have anticipated, that even remotely people can access from anywhere, and that doesn't trigger them like the issue of compliance, right? For example, I would like to play this the Bank of America thing, uh, which is being accessed from remotely from India, right? And it should have triggered some kind of warning. I don't know, but let me play some glimpse of it and then we can. Oh, we are not getting any audio in this one.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
Okay.
It's not coming.
Yeah, probably we can check back on that. The recording was not clear. And what I was trying to show here for our audience is like, even with those highly secure environment, right? So they are providing those access security measures. Still, somebody can, it's not hacking into it. somebody can provide access to someone else like to do their work, so which is not in any way acceptable, but still they just don't care. They don't suspect, they don't kind of trying to, again, Walter, help me out, right?
I mean,
Even if they know this, right, what can they do?
I mean, nothing really. If it's a remote position, I can technically go work in Tokyo if I really feel like it. I mean, I don't think that's a gigantic thing, because I mean that's why people want to work at home. I don't want to be in the same exact location every day. I mean, like, yeah, if you give me a laptop and I'm doing the work, you really shouldn't be asking any questions. I mean, like, it's like, I mean, like, yeah, if I go to Tokyo or Australia or something and ask, hey, where are you today? I'm in Tokyo. What difference does it make? Oh, I'm here working. So I mean, I think that's becoming more commonplace and kind of a thing that's been more acceptable, unless you're like Elon Musk or one of those billionaires who think you can do whatever you want to labor force, which isn't the case. I think that's a thing that's just changing right now, especially in the United States, and it's becoming. I think the labor force is just expected to like double from remote work in the next couple of years, and that's picked up because of COVID. So I don't really think that's a thing companies are going to be able to do much about. So like, yeah, if I can take my work to Italy or Spain, France, log in from India, it's like, okay, work's getting done. I mean, if the work's getting done, I like the work, I like the person, I don't care. I mean that's the way I would be. Is like, I mean, I don't really care where you're at, or even how long it takes. If it's good and it's helping us in the company, then you're doing what we asked of you.
Do they understand the employee where logging from?
They can. I mean, you can. I mean, there are certain ways where a system can tell where you're logging in from. There's different companies that have certain things um, in the system, but I mean, there's also ways around that. If you really wanted to make it look like you're in the United States all the time, you can. So I mean, like, I think especially for a company, and what it really boils down to is, are you doing your job? Are you helping us make a profit? And are we sustainable? And do we like you? I don't think they're really going to care that much, to be honest with you, or they could do something about it. But as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and they personally like you, I don't really think they. I don't, honestly, if you ask them completely off the record, I honestly don't even think they would give it. Well, honestly don't even think they would care that you lied on a resume. I was like, oh well, doesn't matter. You're here. We like you. You're doing everything. But we don't care.
Yeah, that is the whole point, right? About ethics and morality. I'm not going into that, but they don't even have a common courtesy for their own company. It's like, okay, we are being screwed, so what? Let it be. And it's like an open secret. They do know it and they allow it, right? Is that something prevalent in everywhere? So it's in large scale. So that's why like people don't care.
I just don't think they. I'm just looking at it from my end. If I like you, you're doing the thing. Even if I expect that you may have embellished on your resume, I don't. I'm not gonna care. I'm like, it's like you're doing the job. Everything is going well, and I mean, be wherever you're going to be. I mean, if the job's getting done, we get along. You're not stealing from the company technically. I mean, um, but then again, I wouldn't put you need 10 years of experience for something you don't need 10 years of experience for on a job description. I don't even know why they're doing that for these roles, but that's a different story. So I mean, I just don't think it matters as long as the work is getting done and everyone's happy.
So as they are giving the opportunity to work with them as remotely, so if any ethical hacker join with their team, do they uh, do something? I mean, hacking their system or like that. Can he
I
do
mean,
that?
if you start hacking the system, that's a different story.
Mhm.
Then you're breaking federal law. So that's going to be a different story. I mean, if they catch you doing that, they're going to fire you and press charges. So that's I think that's a different type of a thing. I mean, um, and also what would I mean? And if that happens, um, they're not going to want that to get out because that's going to become a story depending on how big the company is. I mean, like Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and those banks have had a lot of bad publicity for faults of their own over the past. Well, I mean, like actually, that's a great example. Wells Fargo was just busted for a gigantic fraud thing that was going on in the company that was worth. I want to say it was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And like if you're working within Wells Fargo, would is that a bigger issue than someone who may have embellished on their resume and work? I mean, I wouldn't care about the person embellishing doing their work. I would care about the person who's defrauding tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. That person is the issue, and that was an American. So I was like, I'd be more worried about that and not really care about the person who just wanted to get a job and is doing the job really well. I mean, they're fine. um, I mean, I think at this point in time, with how prevalent it has been done, I actually had never done it and probably should have been doing it. I've never, how people embellish on their resume. That seems to just be a thing that everyone seems to do. And it's like, yeah, everyone does it. Like I've asked a couple of people since I've been doing, joint stop now. I was like, yeah, people just throw things in on their resume that aren't exactly accurate. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Um, but so it's like, I don't think these companies are naive to that. I just think as long as you're doing the work, as long as they like you, it doesn't matter to them.
Uh,
They would never admit that publicly, but I think that's really the case.
yeah, so that's the point I'm trying to understand here. So it's the volume of the crime, the amount of the fraud alone gets the attention, and if it is like a smaller one, they just kind of ignore it. Is that how?
I mean, with the burn rate of banks and how they waste money themselves, I mean, if it's like $1,000 here, I mean, they're not gonna probably notice that. But I mean, like, yeah, if someone's defrauding um, clients at a rate that goes up to tens of millions of dollars and it becomes a national story, yeah, they're gonna care a bit about that because then you're hurting the company's reputation. You you're hurting the company's bottom line because there's going to be people who are going to be like, I don't want to bank there because of blah 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 happened. Yeah, when it becomes that sizable of an issue, then yeah, it's going to become a thing. And again, they couldn't really blame H-1B visa workers or green card holders for that because that was an American citizen. So it's like the bad things that happen at that scale are typically done by American citizens, not visa holders. So I mean, oh yeah, again, I think when you like just scale it out on what's going to be the issues, like who again, I would just be like, who cares that someone lied on their resume or working from India is like, you said they were working, right? Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
So I was like, I don't care. I'm like, so I was like, I again, that's not a thing you'll ever admit on public, but I just know from talking to people in business, they're going to be like, yeah, shrug. Like, I don't care where they're working from, they're working. Um, so, I mean, like, especially when we're talking about banks and the issues the big banks in the United States have had recently with just all the time, it seems like they're doing something is going on. It's like, what do you like? How do you even do this? I haven't been, I don't have all of that in front of me right now, but so I won't say something incorrect. But it's just like when you get these things, it's just like you're managing to mess up this much money. Like that's impressive. Like it's in, so it's like they have a lot bigger issues they need to worry about than that, and that's not even really anything to do with a security type of thing. It's just they're dealing with American employees that suck and are well greedy and screwing over their clients. So it's those are the bigger issues that are going to cost them money. I really don't think they're going to be losing any money from someone working in India.
Yeah, that's true. Again, we have come to the end of this episode. We'll continue to talk through this and have fun. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.